Here's a video about Ulysses, and this is when I decided to start using food rewards with him, which I do with all of the other horses. I just hadn't with Ulysses because he wasn't interested in the start, and I thought it would be different. But anyway, here we are. He was still quite timid being caught, so I started to give him a treat every time he put his halter on. And when I'm looking at these videos, I can see so many things I don't do perfectly. Like, for example, when he stepped backwards, usually I wouldn't continue. But because I've got so many horses and I know he's quite bold, I did sort of step back with him and pursue things a little bit and put the halter on because I know that he is okay with that on once it's happened. So you can see there, he's trying to get the treat early. Like, he's just learning the invitation is to get the treat once you get the halter on, and you can see he sort of snaps at me a little bit. It's more just with his mouth, not with his teeth, but I don't respond because he's not doing anything wrong. He's just learning. And if you can see, I positioned my arm, so if he does turn his head, he's really just going to bump into my arm. So it's a way of staying safe and letting him learn. And then you can see, as soon as I started using food rewards, he just started leading. Before, he would follow me from side to side, but he wouldn't walk towards me and he wouldn't walk in a straight line. So this was just an instant. You can see how loose that rope is. I'm not pulling him at all, which is lovely. He's just deciding to come along with me, and after a certain distance, he just gets a reward. So he's quite engaged, and you can see he looks quite happy, and there's no pulling or anything happening. So that was a huge success. So he's just decided, yep, no worries, I'm coming with you, I'll lead. And whereas before he didn't really have much idea what I was asking, if I put a little bit of pressure on the rope to pull forward or back, he just didn't know what to do. So he's learned that, and there's no pressure on the rope. So now he will progress to just walking alongside when he's being led, and he'll understand, which is the most important thing, and he is relaxed enough to think. So here I decided, because he was snapping a little bit and he hadn't really understood that the way to get the treat was to put his head forward, I enjoyed some time with him here, just waiting for him to find a nice position with his head forward so he's not putting his mouth into my bag or pocket or something that could become unsafe or unclear or unpleasant later. So he's just working it out, and then as soon as he goes in a nice neutral kind of position that's safe for both of us, I just say good and give him a little treat. So that was him picking that up very, very quickly. So here I needed to get to his feet, so I introduced him to this stick. And it's interesting because some horses have been traumatized by whips and sticks, whereas it didn't really have much meaning to him. So he straight away sniffed it and got a reward. And this was just for safety, so I didn't start putting my hand down near his feet in case he kicked or was to strike me. So you can see the idea now is that I touch his foot with the stick and he lifts it, and that's the start of him lifting his hoof so I can trim it. I left this bit in because I thought it was really cute. So I've gone back to the vehicle, to the ute, to get some more treats, and this is the camera, and Ulysses has decided to come in and check out the camera. Look how cute he is. And then when I come back, he used to sort of startle a little bit, but now he's like, oh yeah, cool, she's back, some more rewards, okay, it's all easy. So you can see he's still having a little snuffle and not exactly a snap, but he's sort of looking for food. But there in that place that we just went through, he ended up lifting his leg and getting the reward. So he's just learning what I'm asking. I just left this part in here. This was from a few days prior, and this shows how timid Ulysses really was. And I think this was the first day I decided he's so scared of me that he wasn't really progressing as much as I had hoped or needed. And there he gets a real fright just from the sound of me putting my hand behind me to get the treat out of the bag. But I think it's also trigger stacking because it's all new and he's a little bit nervous, and a car just drove past, and I think that little sound sort of was a bit too much for his nervous system. So what I did there is I waited for him to exhale and then step back in closer to me. So in this section, I'm outside the fence because it wouldn't be particularly safe to do that inside. So he's feeling safe because I can't grab him, and I'm feeling safe because he's less likely to kick or strike through the fence. So you can see he's aware of what I'm doing, but he mostly is going, okay, give me some food, which is okay. Ideally, you don't want horses distracted so he doesn't suddenly freak out and realize, oh my gosh, someone's touching my foot, but he's aware enough. So it's a pretty relaxed style of handling that I'm doing here. But I do know this horse a little bit, and I know he is really quick to process things in his mind. Someone would call that, I guess, intelligence. But he's also quite quick to regulate once he does get a little fright. It only takes him about 5 to 10 seconds to calm back down. So that was the start of touching his feet so we could get ready to give him some hoof care, and things are going beautifully.